We can talk about it a little bit. We can talk about it a little bit because we were discussing it last week. Our good friend Kiran Baladevan, angry Indian, the world's angriest man, I guess. He went to Australia to study film for a year.
Yeah.
And part of his education was how guns were handled on set. And he said that the way how guns are handled on set is that you have a very strong armorer, right? Very, very authoritative. Nobody argues with this dude or this woman. And the every gun there is fake. There is no, even if it can be loaded with a round, the barrel is like, there's no hole in the barrel stock, right? That's a prop gun. Sometimes the prop guns are made out of rubber. And if there is going to be a live gun, it is there out in the open, and nobody, not even the executive producer, is allowed to touch it. Nobody touches it. And then you give it to the actor, and everybody is cleared off, and they do the shot, and they shoot it, and then that gun is taken away immediately and unloaded. And blanks are usually used, and they are recycled from live rounds. So what happens is you take a live round that has been already expanded. The casing is then refilled at like half capacity or whatever. And there is no projectile. It's usually chalk or something. So it disintegrates when you fire. Yeah. And that's how they make it as safe as possible. And all of these protections have been put in place because of Brandon Lee, who died because he was shot point blank with a blank. Yeah. And people don't realize that a blank at point blank range will kill you.
Yeah, just the shockwave of the air of it is going to be enough to tear it apart.
That's right. The shockwave can definitely kill you. So how this happened, nobody knows. The armorer on the set of Rust, Hannah Gutierrez Reed, said that she doesn't know how a live round made it on the set. There shouldn't have been any live rounds because they did pull out a lead projectile out of the director, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. It went through the cinematographer into the director's shoulder.
Yeah. Halyna Hutchins got her through and through for some. So this was a live round, like a legit live round.
A legit live round. From a approximately close range.
Yeah.
Went through her to the guy in the back, to the director in the back. And the assistant, the assistant director who took the gun up and said cold gun and gave it to Alec Baldwin, which means like he had checked it, that it didn't have any rounds in it. So the gun was declared safe before even any shooting going on with it. Then bam, and Alec Baldwin was like, fuck, all my career is gone.
You want to know what I think? And this is just me wearing a tinfoil hat. Okay. I feel like this was a murder. Somebody wanted someone to die. So they probably snuck in a live round.
It was a single one. It was a single round. Two.
Yes.
Part of me is like, okay, even if for first I thought like maybe somebody wanted to pull a prank on somebody
This
else.
would not be a prank.
I don't know. It's like suddenly you have a live round going off. The next thing is like, well, there were disagreements on the set.
Right.
That day, a few of the camera crew actually resigned and left because they were not getting their paychecks.
Seriously?
Yeah, on the very day that they were shooting that scene. That's why they say like it was only her and the director and one camera on the scene.
Well, shit.
So they protested some things regarding, like, I don't know, safeties, I think COVID safeties, I'm not sure. And the director also basically, well, I don't know if the director said anything, but like they walked off the set. That's what happened on that very day. They walked off, so they only had to use one camera. They only could use one camera, and the director was there.
Mm-hmm.
So part of me is also going like, did one of these fuckers put a live round there just to show them?
Mm-hmm.
And which, like right now, you just say somebody was wanted to get somebody killed. Yeah, it's not really far off. Imagine like 2 years of COVID, and then now you're on a set that you're not even getting your paycheck on time. And the gun
Yeah.
was used recreationally before.
Right.
The gun was said that that particular gun, people have used it recreationally before that. So recreational shooting. So there's multiple things going on, or somebody is just plain sociopath, or people who haven't done their job. Because, okay, a live round made it on the set, went through hand in hand, placed in the gun. The guy who's supposed to check it checked it, said cold gun, or didn't check it. Either way, declared the gun safe, handed it to the Alec Baldwin for the rehearsal, and then, well, next thing you know, she's fucking shot through the chest. 2 people are wounded, and one of them is dead.
And what's really interesting is that you can kind of tell, like, if you look real close at a live round, you can kind of tell that it's a live round. You know what I mean?
Like, the blanks are obvious blanks, because what I read was that the tip of it is usually even a piece of paper to
That's
contain,
right.
just to contain the powder in.
That's right.
So
or in modern guns it's gun cotton, but I guess if they're doing a Western it would be black powder.
Yeah.
But yeah, you can just sort of tell, like if you open up the gun and look at the rounds, which you would be doing if you were the armorer, you can tell, oh shit, this has a lead tip. This should not be on the set.
Yeah. And then the next thing you know, somebody got shot. And it won't really surprise me. People in the show business do a lot of weird shit. Somebody wanted to kill, you know, who's the actor in Dumb and Dumber? The blonde hair guy.
I forget already. Dumb and Dumber cast. Jeff Daniels.
He was doing an SNL sketch. He was actually an SNL host that day, and they were gonna supposed to make a mold of his head, a cast of his head. So the mold is usually they put 2 straws in your nose. They cover your head in this weird goo of concoction of plasticky stuff, so they can get a full cast of your face. Somebody got fired that day. Okay. And that particular person tampered with the whole mixture, apparently. So this guy leaned back, his face got covered up, and the thing wasn't peeling off. Mind you, his mouth he cannot open his mouth, and he's only breathing through straws. So had he thrown up, which he was apparently struggling to keep his vomit down, because if he had thrown up, he would have drowned in his vomit. Yes. So they had to actually bring a plastic surgeon to slowly carve off the eyebrows and inject them with lidocaine and slowly peel it off.
Holy shit.
Face, basically. So somebody went to the degree of like, oh, I'm getting fired, fuck you, I'm going to do something that can potentially kill another person. And somebody might have thought, I'll maybe put a live round there and see what happens. Or like, I'm probably going to go off like he's going to shoot to the wall or something. But it's very much possible somebody did that on purpose. Or really the armorer, somebody didn't do their job properly and a live round made it there. And apparently it was only a single live round, so which makes us suspicious. Like, Was it
Yeah.
an accident or was it on purpose? Because if you say a gun full of live rounds, I'd be like, all right, that's definitely that could happen. Something got mixed up. You got an actual
Yeah.
gun out. But no, a
Yeah.
gun with one live round is something that you're like,
That's weird, right? It
yeah.
stands out quite a bit.
Yeah, it's like the grassy knoll of the Kennedy assassination.
Yeah.
It's just, fuck.
This is very tangentially related, but I remember when I was much younger, the first generation of Hitmen came
Uh-huh.
out, the games, right? And then
Oh,
Blood
that
Money came out.
fucking love that game. Yeah.
Oh,
First one.
I remember we had it on the PS1 and I
Yeah.
would play with it on in my living room and I would invite like my 10-year-old nephew to play Hitman,
Oh, yeah.
which is
Especially part one was when you shoot people, they
oh
leave marks.
yeah. No, because the first episode in Blood Money is the opera, right? You got to assess
Oh, Blood Money. Yeah, yeah. That was on PS2. Yeah.
that's PS2, sorry,
Yeah,
PS2.
number. I thought
And
because I thought you were talking about number one. Yeah, but no, number four,
yeah,
Hitman
yeah.
Blood Money, best.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
That was one of the best ones of the original series. And we were like all huddled around my 10-year-old nephew, and one of my friends was pointing at the TV, going, shoot that, shoot that, because he only had a handgun and he had to make a headshot from across the opera to shoot
Yeah.
the VIP.
Yeah.
And then shoot that, shoot that, shoot that, pew. And then we all cheered, ah, you got it, you got it. Just hugging my nephew. Oh, who's my little killer? Who's my little killer? I miss him so much. He's in the UK now. He's studying film, actually.
Oh, nice.
So this is weirdly related. But in that game, one of the ways you can assassinate the opera singer that is one of the targets is by swapping the prop gun with a real one.
Yeah, that was one of the coolest things ever.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So my first thought when I heard about Alec Baldwin's situation was, is this a blood money situation? Is this somebody swapping out a blank for a live round because somebody was trying to assassinate someone? That was my first thought.
Yeah.
Because I'm fucked up in the head.
You can imagine the way Trump was sleeping that night with a smile on his face. His son started selling T-shirts.
Yeah.
Yeah, he sold T-shirts saying guns don't kill people. Alec Baldwin does.
Oh my God. This tasteless
what
ghoul.
a piece of shit you have to be.
Oh.
What a piece of shit you have to be. That's the kind of guy who would, like, in a zombie apocalypse, he would like close the door on his friends.
Yeah. My God, he'd be that piece of shit.
Yeah,
he'd be that piece of shit. Yeah. He's that guy who only gets eaten much later on in the movie, but when it does, you don't even feel sorry for him. You're like,
no,
yeah,
you're actually chanting for the zombies to eat. Like, come on, get him.
Yeah. When he finally gets eaten, the whole cinema is going to be like, yeah, eat that motherfucker. Yeah. Throw him his bait.
Yeah.
Worthless Gordon Gekko wannabe. Fuck him.
Fuck
him in his corporate suspender suit. So yeah. So another thing that's tangentially related to this sort of thing, right? Friend of ours, I won't name names, got to like the semifinals of like a comedy contest. And there's a lot of money at stake. And it's over several days, several weeks. And the competition is very, very tight. But also, it would seem that he and his group of friends are the only ones who are actually writing jokes. Everybody else is just sort of screwing around. And they've never encountered anybody who's actually written their jokes, right? Done proper work. And they're actually starting to win. Him and his friends are starting to win now. And everybody else is starting to feel threatened because he's changing the game, right? He's shifting the paradigm by doing comedy that is actually not dumb. So when he gets to the semifinals, another senior comedian tells him, look, close to the semifinals, okay? If anybody offers you a drink or some food, Don't eat it. Don't eat it.
Shit.
It's that bad. The jealousy in showbiz is that bad.
It is. I would imagine, but now you would say like it only cements it further.
Yeah.
I understand it in a way because I'm like, okay, like, because here's the thing. Here's what showbiz is. That's why like a lot of people in LA go completely fucking bonkers. It's a chance to earn a shit ton of money for shit ton of money, considerable amount of recognition, and open avenues for other amount of money and recognition. And which is something that everybody would love in their life. It's like, I would like to earn a lot of money and have a lot of recognition for it. I don't know what I need to do for it. And somewhat people think it's easy.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, acting might be easy because it's like not really like the guy, like basic actors would say, just learn your lines, understand your lines, and don't do anything stupid about it. But that's aside from that, people think like, oh my God, if I land a role and get that money, I'll be set for life. People attach it to the way that their life is going to be.
Yeah.
Their life is going to depend on it. Like, oh my God, if I get this. Same thing with cryptocurrencies. Like people who are like pissed at people who would go and get something that somewhat relatively seems for nothing. People who like some guy who would bought like 50 bitcoins because some dumb kid in a class who bought 50 bitcoins just because like he's like, I'll fucking do it, and now he's a trillionaire.
Yeah.
And people feel resentment towards him because show business and all that feels relatively an easy place to be because it really doesn't require you to have any, it doesn't require you to be a surgeon or a engineer or an architect. Can you speak well? Can you talk well? Do you look semi-decent? You might be able to find a way in.
Yes.
So there is a lot of resentment for that.
Yeah.
So I won't be like right now. You say people like poisoned or drugged the food, possibly have done that. As much as it pains me to think it's true, because it just taints the whole environment in my head, and I don't like it. But it is. I know it is. It's for a fact it is. So would somebody slip a live round in the set to fuck with the cameras and everything? Somebody slip a live round hoping that the bullet is not like, it's just gonna probably shoot towards the glass, like the bulletproof glass in front of the screen, or shoot towards a camera, fuck up a camera. Didn't really thought through what happened, and he's probably even like pissing himself, crying, like, what the fuck did I do?
Yeah. He's probably like, oh no, my little act of sabotage has killed a person, and now if they find out what happens,
they're gonna come after me.
Yeah, but the problem is that even if that was true, how would you even find out?
Yeah,
because there is no outstanding evidence. It's a movie set. There's hands and fingerprints and people walking around everywhere.
That gun has changed hands 70 times before it reaches Alec Baldwin's hands.
I wouldn't even know where to start with this investigation, honestly. You could go around and maybe get a list of usual suspects, maybe somebody who has beef with the production company, or a member of the crew who walked out because they won't get paid.
It's going to be a whole mess. Well,
and this is even assuming it wasn't the armorer who screwed up, because it could also just have been that.
Yeah, it could be something as simple as the armorer screwing up, and now he or she trying to cover their track. Very simple. Or here's something that people might not want to consider. Alec Baldwin is having a meltdown, and he put up a live round in there to show that bitch what's up.
Oh my God.
What if Alec Baldwin has lost it finally? He saw the camera and thought about it's a paparazzi. He was like, fuck it, I'm going. So I started blasting.
So I started blasting. Oh my God. That is the most cursed take I have ever heard. I mean, it would be interesting.
He's a villain now.
Yeah. It would be interesting to think that, oh, he really is like the character he played in 30 Rock.
Yeah.
But I mean, he is a highly influential Hollywood actor. If he wanted to go after somebody, he'd just use a bunch of lawyers.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Or punch him in the face like a paparazzi.
There you go. Just punch him in the face, or do a Russell Crowe and throw a telephone at you. You know, something more Hollywood.
Yeah. No, Alec Baldwin has had enough. Enough is enough. You're gonna put the lie, bro. Such a horrible thing to laugh at. That. Yeah.
I've had it, Liz Lemon. I've had it. I can't take it anymore. I'm going to shoot everybody right now.
Yeah, that bitch had it coming. Keeps pointing that camera at me. Who do you think she is?
I just keep thinking of him as...
You know the way he whispers all the time?
I just keep thinking of him as Jack Donaghy in 30 Rock. Just like, I've had it, Liz Lemon. I can't take it anymore.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna shoot everybody. My mother is calling on the phone.
God damn it. Yeah. Because some people have said like they heard him screaming the N-word before he shot. Yeah, witnesses on the set said that they heard Alec Baldwin screaming the N-word before he made during the rehearsal. By the way, the cameras weren't even running. So,
no.
Yeah.
And then Charlie Sheen was made a statement saying, "Hey, that's my line."
Hey, that's my line. Hollywood is a mess. Fuck them. I don't know.
Oh my God.
I don't know. It would be funny to see what the fuck comes out of it. It would be even funnier if it goes down the way I explained it. Just Alec Baldwin had a breakdown.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I mean, that would be. I mean, you mentioned the cameraman getting leaving because he weren't getting paid, and the person who died was the cinematographer. I'm like,
what could possibly have gone down?
I'm not saying anything, but it's like,
Yeah, 2 + 2, you know?
Yeah.
If you know what I say, they say if it feels more than 2 finger, it's probably a dick.
Or just a really big hand. I don't know, like a Wreck-It Ralph fist. I don't know.
Jesus.
Can you imagine how devastating this is? You've been quarantined under Corona, because of the pandemic for 2 years. Can't do jack shit. Everything that you have planned is going down the drain, and you're losing money because you can't film. All of Hollywood is living off its savings, essentially, unless they got stuff like animations or exclusively in studio work. And then you finally get to film on set.
Yeah.
And you think to yourself, oh, we're going to do a Western like in the old days. You know, we're going to do this live round shooting or rather this gunshot scene with actual guns with the blank rounds. And then somebody gets shot and it's like, hang on, this is Hollywood, not Compton. Like, what is going on? And it all goes down to crap all over again, and they don't even know if they can even finish this film.
No, it's not going to be finished. Shit. Alec Baldwin is, I think he's done. I don't think you're going to see him anytime soon. I mean, he did have an interview today with the TMZ paparazzis with giant eye bags, and he and his wife were standing there. They were both recording the interview, the TMZ guys. So they were holding their phone, recording them in case any shit goes down, which was like just shows how fucking scared they were.
Yeah.
and he said like, I can't make any comments about the ongoing investigation. The person's, the lady's husband also came and said, I don't blame Baldwin. I blame the prop manager for this.
Right.
So we'll see. We'll see where it goes. You know, it's just funny. You know, these rich people doing their earning billions of money and everything. It's like now we're just finding entertainment in their misery.
I mean, it's Schadenfreude, isn't it? Like,
yeah.
You see these people live large, and it's entertaining to watch them fall. But for me, the person who eventually died and got shot was not some big time celebrity.
No, she was an upcoming.
It was an up and coming cinematographer that eventually died, and that's really sad. Because I've experienced this sort of thing. Like, I tried to get a series through, and we couldn't even shoot the pilot because of the quarantine, because of MCO.
Yeah.
And then we pitched it to one streaming service, and they're like, no. And the other streaming service is like, we like the concept, but we still need to see the pilot. And then the production company bails because under both the pandemic and political situation in the country, we can't make a living. We have obligations in Europe and America. We're moving out to there.
Shit.
It's not a death, but for all of the little people who work in these things that you only see the big people as a part of, that's kind of sad.
Yeah, a lot of people there you see Alec Baldwin, but the whole thing is like, well, at least a production, like, I don't know how many people, 500, if it's a blockbuster, it's more than 1,000 people working on.
Yeah.
So this one's like a small budget, let's say 200, 500 people, like in Albuquerque and stuff like that, trying to like, oh, all right, I'll go there to the movie set, I get a couple of bucks.
Yeah.
I'll get some money and get some income, and then now the production is shut and I can't get the income now. I have to go find something else.
Yeah. Crew, staff, and all of the other businesses around the set that benefited from it. And not just like production, not just like prop makers and
transportation setup, studio managers, set managers, the set builders, all of that. They're just the builders, the workers, little, like, they're just the general workers, people going around putting things
like
together.
little mom and pop shops that would have done the catering. We're making, like, good money off of that. Trust the fat dude to think about the food. But I think about these people, man. They keep me fed. I really think hard about caterers, because it's like, if there's no set, they can't make a living, and I can't get an eating.
It's sad. Those are the people who are really getting damaged now. Alec Baldwin, like we had a discussion. I was like, he'll be fine. He'll lick his wounds. Yeah. He has more money than he can care for. So he's already set. He's too busy. He has like 6 kids with his wife now. So he's probably gonna make another one.
I mean, look,
fucking Irish people.
Wow. Okay.
The only reason I'm saying that is because I've met a few Irish and Irish, most in particular Irish Americans, that for some reason they don't pull out.
It's a Catholic thing.
It's a Catholic thing. Like, I came to the realization a while after. I was like, oh, this is just the Christian mentality that, like, I'm gonna make as many bababies as possible, until the womb came out by itself.
I've got a friend who is a staunch Catholic, more or less. From Sabah, wouldn't you know it, right? We're back to Sabah, right? Yeah. And she has 10 siblings.
10 siblings.
Yeah.
Nice.
So just 11, nine sisters.
Great.
And it's like, oh, God, that is
By the way,
entirely too many
this is more
siblings.
towards modern time. If you say like it was like an old guy, like I think like my dad was in a line of like 13, 14 kids. So
Yeah.
it just like even the
Yeah.
joke was that they couldn't even tell when her mother was pregnant or not. It
Yeah.
just
Oh my God.
it just
That is a lot. That
that's
is
a
a lot.
lot.
Like,
Yeah, so
and she's the second youngest, and it means that long before her, they were doing it for a long time. Like,
yeah,
and she's only 30.
yeah.
So I'm trying to figure out, when did they start banging?
Yeah, you
That
just
is,
you just start with
I
her and
can't.
just work backwards, see which
I just,
year, follow the breadcrumbs. My friends are actually sponsoring an Afghani family here
yeah,
for refugees, and
yeah.
for some reason apparently misery doesn't stop people from production,
No,
and
no.
it's actually really it's one of those things that really bother me. I'm like, wait, so the bombs were dropping off on your head, or like your neighbor decided to wear a suicide vest, but that still didn't really stop you from fucking.
From banging.
Yeah.
No, it doesn't, because we just talked about Alec Baldwin. I just talked about 30 Rock, and now we're talking about, and now this reminds me of what's his name, uh the black comedian in 30 Rock,
Tracy Morgan.
Tracy Morgan. That's
Yeah,
right.
he has many kids as well with different waiters.
But he talks about it in his special, right? He talks about how in the hood there's nothing to do, life is hard, so you use sex as a sedative.
Yeah.
He's like, hey mommy, you got nothing, I got nothing, let's make a baby. That's how
Yeah.
you do. So yeah, you use sex as a sedative.
Fucking dude, man. Fuck him.
Yeah. I mean, you could have used a condom,
Or
right?
pull
Like,
out.
or yeah, at the very least, you know,
Yeah,
can't be
it's like
having more cream pies in a bakery. Come on.
yeah, cream pies and a fucking under a pile of rubble. Like, what the fuck are you doing? That it's just it's like the
Yeah.
guy, like the Afghani family, they have 7 kids. Give you the age range. Uh First kid 7 years old, second kid 6 years old, third kid 5 years old. So you can see a pattern right now.
Yeah, yeah.
This
It
and by
was
the way,
nonstop.
their
Yeah.
birthdays are all in within and beginning of I forgot which month it was. Sorry, I think it was April.
Yeah.
March, yeah, beginning of first 3 days of April and last 4 days of March.
Okay.
So their
Okay.
birthdays are back to back. Like somehow this guy managed to impregnate so decisively
Yeah.
and on point that their birthdays are not really far apart. It's all within
Yeah,
the end
yeah.
of March and February, beginning of February. I'm like,
So it's
great.
precision cream pieing is what we're saying.
Not only precision. Yeah, that dude knew how to fucking cream pie that donut. But it's just the
Dear
fact that like,
Lord.
but also the super semen of this person just fucking shooting. And even like I'm pretty sure she wasn't even ovulating at that point. I think it just
I mean,
and that
he was
sperm like
just,
fucking penetrated the womb.
my God. This poor woman. Oh,
Oh, she's all
you get
right. She doesn't
noticed. I
care.
mean, sure. But it's like, would have been nice to have like a breather, maybe
Yeah.
like a year sabbatical or something.
The 7th kid came out by herself. Just fucking, you
Just
know
walked out.
you know your
Yeah.
water broke when you see a kid hanging between your legs. It's just by the umbilical cord. It's just
Yeah.
fuck.
You're just standing up and the kid just bungees out, basically. Yeah.
Poor girl, poor woman. I'm like, Jesus, imagine all the shit you're going through, and now you have like fucking you grow another
Yeah.
grow another 5 tits. It's just
Yeah. Like
oh.
there's too little gap. Like all of them are still babies, basically.
Yeah.
Either babies or toddlers. If the oldest one is only 7.
Yeah.
That's a lot. That's a lot of responsibility. The only compensation is that at the very least they'll all be grown at the same time,
Yeah.
right? So once you're done, assuming she doesn't make more,
Yeah.
it's
I don't think she can, like
right.
I don't think you can go through 7 years of constant pregnancy
Yeah,
and have your womb intact. But of course, she's
yeah.
Afghani. Their genes are very, very resilient.
They're robust
They're
people. Yeah,
robust people. Like they have natural selection and the natural and Sharia selection.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
just
yeah. It's like a real life Fremen from Dune.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Watch the Dune. It was fucking disappointing.